Hello, friends. My name is Eric Cloward, and welcome to the Stoic Coffee Break. The Stoic Coffee Break is a weekly podcast where I take aspects of Stoicism and do my best to break them down to their most important points. I share my thoughts and my experiences, both my successes and my failures, and hope that you can learn something from them, all within the space of a coffee break. This week's episode is called The Ripple Effect of Small Acts of Kindness, a Stoic Perspective. Does it seem like the world is more divided and angry? Does it feel like it's hard to put trust in our society? Today, I want to talk about how the small things we can do can have a much bigger impact than we might think. Kindness is mankind's greatest delight. Marcus Aurelius. Oftentimes, we can get stuck thinking that the world is a mess. Since our minds are attuned to spotting negative things so that it can keep us safe, watching the news or seeing what's happening on our feeds on social media can easily make the world seem pretty grim. If we're not careful, it's easy to become anxious and pessimistic about humanity. The significance of small acts of kindness stands as a beacon, illuminating the path towards a more compassionate society. Today, I want to explore how seemingly insignificant gestures acquire profound importance, offering a roadmap for individual and collective betterment, and how small actions can impact ourselves, others, and society as a whole. You cannot do a kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Stoicism emphasizes virtue, wisdom, and the pursuit of the common good as the foundation of a fulfilled life. Marcus Aurelius once penned, "What is not good for the swarm is not good for the bee," underscoring the Stoic belief in the interconnectedness of all individuals and the importance of contributing positively to the community. In the context of kindness, Stoicism posits that even the smallest gestures of goodwill ripple through the social fabric, benefiting the whole. Humanity's greatest strength is that we can work together to accomplish amazing things. While many attribute our intellect as the reason that we have come to dominate the world, it's our ability to work together in large groups that is truly our defining characteristic. The other day, I stumbled down a rabbit hole on Quora about small acts of kindness. As I read through each of the posts of seemingly small acts, I found myself tearing up and smiling at the generosity of strangers, often in situations where they didn't need to be kind. From buying some hungry teenagers a box of tacos at Taco Bell, to paying for gas for an elderly woman who only had $3 in change, to a former math teacher on the subway helping a father relearn fractions so that he in turn could help his son who was struggling in school, the kindness of strangers is alive and well. Trust is the glue that builds strong communities. Since most of us live in cities and larger communities, it's not possible to know everyone, and so we need to be able to trust others. Small acts of kindness are manifestations of our inherent capacity for empathy and compassion. These small acts, where you show kindness in situations where you don't need to, increase trust in society. Where there is more trust, we feel safer, our outlook on the world improves as well, and while such gestures may seem trivial, their cumulative effect can transform communities and, by extension, societies. Words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. Mother Teresa. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control, our actions and our attitudes. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, are within everyone's grasp. Epictetus remarked, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters," which means that we choose how we want to interact with the world. By consciously deciding to perform acts of kindness, we assert control over our lives and contribute in a positive way by helping others where we may have nothing to gain. Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. Seneca. From a Stoic viewpoint, the benefits of kindness are twofold. They enhance the well-being of the receiver and enrich the character of the giver. We become better people by practicing kindness. Because practicing kindness is a choice, it is an exercise of will to find moments where we can be kind and to step up and take action rather than just going on about our day. Stoicism encourages us to seek out opportunities for kindness as a means of self-improvement and as a way to contribute to the greater good. One of the most interesting things that I've learned in this life is that when you learn to be kind to others and less selfish, you're happier overall. Usually people are selfish because they feel like they are not getting something they think they deserve or need in order to be happy. I know for me, when I was younger, I was definitely a more selfish person. And this was definitely the case that when I learned to be less selfish, it improved my happiness overall. Practicing small acts of kindness help you to overcome your selfish tendencies. You do good things to others, not because they deserve them or because you're expecting anything in return, but simply because you want to do them. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Aesop. Modern neuroscience supports the Stoic perspective on kindness, showing that acts of generosity and compassion activate parts of the brain associated with pleasure, social connection, and trust. These findings suggest that kindness is not just morally commendable, but also beneficial to our psychological and physical health. There have been plenty of studies that also show the fastest way to improve our own sense of well-being is to do something kind for someone else. We actually get a small burst of dopamine when we do something kind, even if it is just a small act. If you're feeling a little down, doing something kind for someone else is a simple yet effective way to improve the mood. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Epictetus. The world abounds with instances where small acts of kindness have led to significant impacts. Consider when Princess Diana shook the hand of a man with AIDS. At the time, there was a lot of misinformation about AIDS, and her simple act of kindness helped to change the view of the world towards those who had contracted the disease. Or the chain of reactions set off by a single act of kindness in a coffee shop in Pennsylvania, where patrons paid for the orders of those behind them for hours. Minor gestures can inspire, motivate, and spread joy beyond their immediate context. In my own life, I'm currently living in Airbnbs in Amsterdam until I find a permanent place. A few weeks ago, I had a short trip scheduled for Berlin and didn't want to take all of my stuff with me, and there was no way that I'd be able to take my bike with me. The host of one of my Airbnbs was kind enough to let me leave some of my stuff and my bike at his place while I was away. It wasn't a big deal for him since he had plenty of storage space, but for me it was incredibly helpful to not have to find somewhere to store everything while I was away. Be kind whenever possible, and it is always possible. The Dalai Lama. So how can we get better about showing more kindness in our lives? Incorporating kindness into daily life does not require grand gestures. It begins with a conscious effort to recognize the humanity in others and to act on this recognition in even the smallest ways. This could be as simple as listening attentively, offering a word of encouragement, or expressing gratitude. To get better at practicing kindness in our lives, we need to become more aware. It's far too easy to go about our day focused on just ourselves and not engage with others. By working to cultivate an attitude of kindness, you can develop an awareness of how you show up in the world and look for small ways to practice kindness, whether that's opening the door for someone else, buying a coffee for a stranger, or giving a stranger a compliment. We can all do small things that makes others' lives just a little bit easier. Another exercise you can do is to practice reflective journaling. Every day, take some time to reflect on acts of kindness you observed, received, or performed. This practice, rooted in Stoic reflection, encourages mindfulness of kindness as a daily practice to keep it top of mind. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to just take the time to listen to someone else. There's a lot of loneliness out in the world. Because we spend so much time online, we often forget to connect with others in real life. Make a conscious effort to listen more attentively to others can help them feel seen and connected, and I think we could all do with a little bit more of that in our world. Speaking of being online, practicing kindness in this world does not stop when you're on your phone. When you're online and you feel tempted to post a snarky or rude comment on someone's post, take the time to think about how this might impact others. Does it hurt or help them? What does this say about you? Take the time to find a way to lift others, and you'll find yourself in a better mood knowing that you made an active choice to do good in the world. In a world that often emphasizes the grandiose, it's the small, everyday acts of kindness that weave the fabric of compassionate society. The cumulative effect of widespread acts of kindness can lead to a more empathetic and cohesive society. By fostering an environment where kindness is valued and practiced, we can counteract divisiveness and isolation, creating communities that thrive on mutual support and understanding. In the spirit of Stoicism, small acts of kindness are not merely altruistic gestures, but a fundamental component of a virtuous life. They serve as a testament to our capacity for goodness and to our potential to affect change in the world around us. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that. By choosing kindness, we rebel against cynicism and apathy, embracing a philosophy that nurtures our collective humanity. And that's the end of this week's Stoic Coffee Break. As always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and thanks for listening. Hey friends, if you're not following me on social media, I'd really appreciate it if you did. You can find me on Threads and Instagram at stoic.coffee, as well as on X, formerly Twitter, and LinkedIn and Facebook at Stoic Coffee. Thanks again for listening.